Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. We gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast when you do what you want.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Dream Bigger Live Larger podcast. I am your host, Adeline Lees. And today's topic we'll be discussing knowing when it's time to remove yourself, okay? Knowing when it's time for you to understand, it's time for you to set more boundaries for yourself, and you are no longer welcomed where you once were, okay? So if you guys are interested, keep on listening and keep on watching. This is Dream Bigger Live Larger podcast. All right, y'all. Child, is February. We are in the first week of February, my birthday month, so I'm excited. Your girl got plans, your girl's going out, your girl just living. This is going to be my last year in my 20s, and I'm like, girl, I've came a long way, okay? Your girl's going to be 29. 29, like, damn. But I still look fabulous, okay? I still look good, all right? But let's get into it. So this week's episode, I want to discuss when it's time to remove yourself, and you knowing when it's time to remove yourself. So I wrote down, coming to a realization that you've served your purpose and now it's time for you to move on. Stop lingering where you don't belong. Stop squeezing yourself in when you don't fit no longer. Okay? So I come to a realization that I have outgrown a lot of things in my life. And sometimes when I say knowing when to remove yourself, it's knowing when to remove yourself in relationships, in friendships, in family, in jobs. It's just knowing that you serve the purpose and you are no longer needed in that situation, or the situation that you are in is no longer relevant in your life. Like, it is what it is. And you're wondering, like, damn, have I ever been in those type of situations? Yeah, everyone has been in those type of situations. That's what you call you are outgrowing your circumstances, okay? And sometimes you have to understand that your body will literally tell you when it's time to remove yourself. Like, you will really feel exhausted, mentally drained. You are just over the situation. But it has to be a time when you have to wake up and be like, yo, it's time for me to get the heck up out of here, because this situation is no longer serving me any purpose. I'm not benefiting from it, and I feel like we are in two different paths. So when it comes down to knowing when to remove yourself, you have to make, and sometimes it is the biggest decision that you will ever make in your life, because when you are comfortable somewhere and you've been somewhere for a long time, whether you've been in a relationship or a friendship or a job, it's hard to just to pick up and be like, all right, my purpose is done. Like, it's over for me. Like, I'm done. Because you've been in this circumstance for so long. And it's like, that's all you know sometimes. But it is our time to measure out when things are no longer beneficial for us, when things are just like, we are just outgrowing the circumstances, right? So, a transparency moment, right? I realized that I've outgrown so many things in my life, right? Unnecessary drama, relationships that weren't beneficial, conversations that are draining. And I've come to a realization that I don't have to put up with the bullshit, especially if it's not serving me. I realize now that I'm going to be 29 this year, I had a wake-up call. To know that sometimes if you see me like playing with my lip, I feel like there's hair on my lips, on my lip gloss. Sorry. But I came to a realization that it's okay for me to say, yeah, I'm done. It's okay to say, nah, this is no longer working for me. And for me to remove myself from this situation. Let me give you an example. Let's talk about relationships. Say, for example, you've been in a relationship for about 7 years, right? And you've been with this person for so long. That was your high school sweetheart. You went through college with this person. Now you guys are starting a life. meaning like you guys are moving in together. And you start realizing once you start moving in with this person, like, wow, there's so much things I've never realized about you that I strongly dislike. And I don't know if because we've been together for so long and I'm comfortable, but now that we are living in the same space, this is not what I signed up for. Like, you start realizing, like, damn, was I living under a rock? Like, did I not notice these things from years ago? No, because love is blind. And certain things you are so comfortable with that once you start growing and you start realizing, like, hey, whoa, what's going on? That's your wake up call. And it's easier said than done when it's time for you to just remove yourself from those situations because, like I said, you're comfortable, you've been with this person for so long. But it gets to a point like you think to yourself, like, what am I gaining from this? Like, what am I gaining from being in this relationship, from being from this friendship? Because this is not beneficial. You need to learn how to remove yourself when you know things are not beneficial from you. When everything is just draining you and it's drama and it's he said, she said, and every situation is just chaotic, nothing is peaceful. You have to be aware of the people that are always in some shit, that's always in drama, always in strong conflicts or bickering with someone. Like, there's no such thing as peace in their world. You need to be aware of those type of people because that is a scary sight. Okay? And you're going to need to learn how to be like, even though if that person might be your family member, a relationship, a friend, whatever the case may be, you are going to know when to remove yourself when things are not beneficial for you. And it's a scary sight. It really is, because it's like, damn, that's really my homeboy. That's really my homegirl. We've been friends for 15 years. That's my boyfriend. We've been together for 7 years. Or this is my family. Yeah. But ask yourself, what are you gaining from this? What are you gaining from this? Right? So I also wrote down, not everyone is deserving of your time and energy. Okay? Beware of the people that lingers around you to absorb the energy you have, the personality, your style. Sometimes the people that's around you really want to be you, and they just suck up all of that energy from you. Like, really, beware of those type of people. And they come in all shapes and sizes. They come in family, they come in relationship, they come in friendship. Beware. And this sometimes you have to, like, not even sometimes, most of the time you got to set boundaries. You have to set strong boundaries because it's sucking the life out of you. And you need to learn how to remove yourself. Like, hey, I love you, but I don't know your type of energy, but it's not aligning with mine. And I need to protect my energy, protect my peace, because baby, whatever you got going on over there, I want no part. I want no part. Okay? So beware of people like that. Beware. Because it's a scary sight. I'm just trying to like adjust the camera. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a scary sight. It's a scary sight. So this episode is not long at all. It's just understanding that you are your own superhero, and I cannot say this enough. You are your own superhero. You need to learn and know when it's time to remove yourself. Like I said, it's not easy. It's easier said than done. But as long as you protecting your own energy, your spirit, your time, make sure you know when it's time for you to skedaddle, a skadoosh. Okay? That is all I have. It was just deeply rooted in my heart for me to speak about this today. So I was like, you know what? Let me just make this week's episode about removing yourself where you don't belong. All right? If you guys love this episode, give it a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do, chat. And I will see you guys in my next one. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye-bye.